big toes touch, knees apart. And you can just let the torso melt in between the thighs. The forehead can come to the earth. And if it feels like there's too much tension in the back and hips, bringing the forehead to the earth, then just go ahead and stack fist on fist or take a block underneath the third eye. And begin to breathe into the side ribs. Lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Taking this time at the top of your practice to connect to your breath. To surrender all that has come before during this day. To land on your mat, the transition between the practice and the outside world. Notice the body, the physical sensations. Notice the mind. Is it easy for it to still? Does it take more effort? On the next inhale, take the longest breath that you've taken, the most full breath that you've taken so far today. Hold at the top. Open the mouth, sigh it out, let the whole breath fall out of the body. Breathe in and out through the nose, if that's available. Taking this moment to come home to your body. Yoga teaches us that we can be with our bodies through any discomfort, through any experience, through any delicious stretch, joyful moments. And so we practice that here on the mat. We notice when we have left the building and we come home. If the arms aren't already outstretched, bring them in front of you in child's pose, extended with the arms, and activate it by pressing the hands to the earth. The forearms float off the mat. Keep the shoulder blades securely on the back, long neck. Keep pressing firmly into the hands. Try to press the thumb and index a little bit more aggressively to the earth. Try and hollow out the armpits. Breathe into the shoulders. And slowly begin to peel yourself up towards tabletop. Shoulders line up over the wrists. Knees land under the hips. Elbows have a gentle bend as they scoop. Draw the heart forward, cow. Breathe here. Feel how the breath in affects the pose. Feel how the breath out affects the pose. Another inhale. On the next exhale, pressing the floor away. Hollow out the belly, curve the spine. Breathing into the back body. Breathing here. Feel the shoulder blades pull away from one another. Let's bring some dynamic movement into it. Inhale, heart comes forward. Exhale, curve the spine. Keep moving with your breath. Investigating the different areas of the spine. Where do you feel open? Where is there congestion? And keep moving, and you might take it into some circular movements with the hips. And then come forward to tabletop. Step the right foot back. Press through the heel, give it a little pulse. Feel the stretch in the calf. And then press into the left shin, zip belly to spine, float the right leg to the height of the hip. Reach the left arm forward. Sweep the left arm back behind you. Let the palm face the earth, so we externally rotate the arm. Getting wide through the collarbone. Keep reaching through the right heel, zipping belly to spine. And then lower it to the earth. Knee and hand land. Step the left foot back. Little pulse here. Start that activation of the low belly so that the tailbone points towards the heel. And then pressing into the right shin, hugging the right hip, float the left leg to the height of the hip. Notice if the low back begins to hollow out, turning into a little bit of a bird bath. Engage more through the low belly, lifting frontal hip points towards the front ribs. And then get lighter onto the right hand. The right hand can float forward. And then let's swing it back, external rotation, palm facing the earth, collarbone spreading wide. Breath here. Keep the outer hips hugging. And then on the next exhale, lower it all to the earth. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, curve the spine. Tabletop. Step the right foot back. Float the leg to the height of the hip. Bend the knee. And pulse the heel towards the sky. Keep pulling belly up and in. Clenching a little bit through that glute. You'll probably start to really feel it come online. And then just press up through the heel. Keep hugging the outer hips towards one another, hollowing the belly towards the spine. Float the left hand forward. Swing it back. Maybe you can catch hold of the outside edge of the foot. A little bit of balance here. Try and keep the chest parallel to the earth. And then we'll release, lower it down. Knee and hand land. Step the left foot back. Belly to spine. Are you still staying with your body? Yes, I hope so. Float the left leg. Bend the knee. Pump heel towards sky. Keep hugging outer hips. Keep engaged through the belly. How does it feel to have this action, this activity in the body? And then press the heel to the sky, pause, float the right hand forward, swing it back. Maybe it can catch the foot. Maybe not. It's an attempt to be made. Chest square to the earth. And then release gently to the earth. Hand and knee land. Let's come down onto our bellies. Extend the arms out beside you like a T. Walk the left hand back underneath the left shoulder. The right hand is directly out from the right shoulder. Begin to roll over onto the right hip. The left foot might step behind the right leg, or it can stay stacked. It's up to you. And the collarbone, the pectoral muscle, all stretching on the right side. The head can rest towards the earth. Maybe you reach the left arm up. You might take it into a little bit of a bind, bringing the left hand behind the back. Breathing. Present with the body, what is available to you here. Roll back onto your belly. Reach the left arm out. Bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Begin to roll onto the left hip. Bring the right foot behind the leg if you took it that way the first time. And then extending up through the right fingertips, perhaps. Breathing, each side is different. Maybe taking again that half bind. Feel how the front shoulder can open here. Where can you soften? How can you stay more fully present to the sensation of the body? And come back onto the belly. Walk the hands in line with the chest. Wrists underneath elbows. Tuck the toes. Press the heels back so that the legs are lifting off the earth from activity. Keep the belly pulling up and in. Inhale here. On the exhale, press up to full plank. It's hard. Make sure the hands are lined up underneath the shoulders. Elbows are scooping. We're breathing here. Belly to spine, tailbone to heels. Front body to back body. Collarbone is wide. Press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. It's your first down dog of the practice. Stretching into the hamstring, the calves. Inhale, float forward, plank. 3 breaths here. On the exhale, hips up and back, down dog, 3 breaths here. Maybe stillness this time. On the next inhale, float forward, plank. Hold here, breathing. Still the mind. Stay with the body. Next, exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gentle bend to the knees, to the elbows. And slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. You can pause every 6 inches, shortening the dog, stretching the backs of the legs more and more. Until you end up at the back of the mat in a forward fold, head is heavy. Sit bones are reaching up towards the sky. Inner thighs spiral back. You might hold opposite elbow. Give a little bounce. Give a little sway. Release the arms. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And draw the hands to heart center. Coming back into the body if the mind had wandered off the mat. Release the hands. Interlace them at the small of the back or take a strap in between the hands, depending on how open your shoulders are. Take a peek down at your feet. Feet are hips distance and the edges of the feet are parallel. Give a little soft bend to the knees. Draw the tailbone towards the earth as you lift the heart. Knuckles pull to the earth. Get wide through the collarbone. Inhale here. On the exhale, with soft knees, begin to fold forward from the hips. Knuckles begin to reach up towards the sky. Head surrenders, neck releases. Keep reaching up through the knuckles, and maybe there is some space to begin to allow the knuckles to drift towards the front of the mat. We're breathing here. We're inviting the shoulders to soften, open. The hamstrings are invited to open. Release the hands back towards the low back. Let them drip down the legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, knee to right tricep tap. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee to left tricep tap. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee down, center, pause. Keep pressing the floor away, hugging the knee higher. Bring the knee over to the right tricep. Hold, pause. Keep hugging the elbows to the midline. Bring the knee over to the left. Pause, hold, breathe. Bring the knee back through center. Extend the leg long, 3-leg plank. Lower the foot down, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Inhale, up and back. Exhale for the twist to the right tricep. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, down center, pause, hold. Elbows are scooping in. Belly is scooping up. External rotation, knee to left tricep. Over to the right for a twist. Back through center, extend the leg long, 3-leg plank. Lower the foot, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Breathe here. How does the body feel? We're waking it up, we're building heat. Notice the sensation of the skin. Notice the points of contact, body to earth. Inhale, float forward, plank. With knees lifted or lowered, lower all the way to the earth. Uncurl the toes. Press tops of the feet down, zip belly to spine, pelvis roots to the earth. Roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Roll the heart forward and up. Low cobra. Imagine you could scrub the hands back and shoot the heart forward. Active legs. Maybe the hands could float and still have that activity of pulling the elbows in and back. And then lower the hands down, lower the forehead down. So there's opportunity here, especially with all this opening of our collarbone and shoulders. There's opportunity for up dog. So we'll walk through it. If up dog is not right for you, stay with low cobra. Press into the tops of the feet. Press so firmly that the knees are lifting off the mat. Begin to root into the hands. Zip belly up and in. As you press into the hands, the arms move towards straight, the legs float off the earth. You're pressing the tops of the feet down. The inner thighs are rolling up towards the sky. The shoulder blades are pulling together on the back. The low belly is pulling up and in. And then use the core to lift the hips to downward facing dog. So the activity of the core in up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, the activity of the core protects the low back. So if there's any tenderness in the low back, that's a nice indication that activating the core is necessary. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop, feet towards hands. Heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar A. Sun salutations. Release the hands. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, lead with the heart. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step back through plank, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathing here. We have 2 more rounds of that. How can you commit more fully to staying in your home, in your body, with your physical expression of each pose, of each transition, of the sensations, noticing when the mind wanders. Inhale, high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, looking forward, step or hop, feet forward. Heart lifts, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana, plant into the feet, sweep the arms, gather the sky, draw it down, heart center. Inhale, arms float. Exhale, forward fold. Heart lifting, inhale. Plant the hands, plank, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, down dog. Breathing. Send the hips long back. More space through the side waist. One final time. Inhale, high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Look forward, step or hop, feet forward. Heart lifts, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms. Hands through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Go at your own breath, your own pace. For this Surya Namaskar A, you know the pattern of movement. Land in down dog. Breathing. Right leg lifting. Step the foot to the hands. Lower the back knee down. You might walk the right foot more to the right. Press into the front heel. Lift the torso. Hands to hips. So start by really letting the hips dip forward so that the front hip is collapsed on that front thigh. This is really exaggerated. We're going to press into the front heel. We're going to pull a belly button up and in to begin to lift the frontal hip points away from that front thigh, and then hug the right hip into the midline so that we can find that proper alignment. As you root down into that front heel, press into the left shin and imagine you could pull those two towards one another. So the left shin is pulling forward, the right heel is dragging back, and then interlace the hands at the small of the back. Lift the heart. Draw the knuckles towards the earth. Keep pulling belly up and in. Frontal hip points lifting. Front ribs falling towards the front hip points. Release the arms, float them up and overhead. Hands to the earth. Pull the hips back, maybe floating the right toes. Left hip lines up over left knee, so you can peek back to have a look. If the right toes are floating off the earth and pulling back towards the torso, externally rotate the legs so the toes point to the right. Bring the toes back through center. Sole of the foot to the earth. Hands plant. Tuck the back toes, straighten the leg. Pause here. Keep the left hand rooted to the earth. Strong left leg, so the belly of the thigh is really lifting. And then float the right arm up to the sky. Notice if the right hip is rolling up, hug it into the midline. And now, walk the right foot to the middle of the mat. The toes will point towards the right side of the mat. Roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Maybe the top arm can scoop overhead. Keep pulling belly up and in. Notice that left arm. Is the elbow locked out? Give it a soft bend. Scoop it towards the midline. Try and hollow out the armpit. One more inhale. And then look down. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step back. Plank vinyasa or straight to dog. Paying attention to what the body could use today. What is useful in your practice? Left leg lifts. Inhale. Step the foot to the hands. Lower the back knee down. Have a nice wide stance with the right knee and the left heel. Press into the front heel and just lift the torso, letting the hips sink forward. You'll feel a nice stretch in this right psoas. We want to begin to engage the low belly as we press into the front heel. Hands can be on hips. Imagine you could pull the frontal hip points up to upright the pelvis. Hug that left hip into the midline. And then interlace the hands behind the back. And then move one finger over, so it's the non-habitual way. And then draw the knuckles to the earth. Keep hugging front body to back body. Maybe the gaze comes up ever so slightly. You notice the cobwebs in the corners of the room. Release the arms, float them up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pull the hips back. Maybe the left toes float. Hands can be on blocks here if the floor feels very far away. Right hip is over right knee. If the left toes have floated and flexed back towards the torso, begin to externally rotate the toes to the left. Breathing. Bring the foot back through center. Lower it down to the earth. Hands plant. Tuck the back toes, straighten the leg. Really active with that right leg. So the heel is pressing back. The quadricep is nice and engaged, lifting that right hip. Keep all of that activity. Hug the left hip to the midline. Keep the right hand down, left arm up. Twist. Keep hugging that left hip in. Right quad up, up, up. And now let's walk the left foot to the middle of the mat. Roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Half Vashisthasana. Keep pressing into the left heel to lift the hips. Maybe the top arm scoops up and overhead. Keep the core engaged. Frontal hip points lifting to ribs. Soft bend in the right elbow. One more inhale. Exhale, look down, hands down, step back, plank, dog, or vinyasa. Are you with yourself as you move, transitioning? Breathing. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Plant the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, pause. Maybe eyes closed. Release the hands. Sink the hips, inhale. Utkatasana. Breathing here, pressing into the heels, belly to spine. One more inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Heart lifts on the inhale. Plant the hands, step back, vinyasa or dog. Right leg lifts. Step the foot through to the hands. Lower the back knee, keep the toes tucked. Press into the right heel, come up, Anjaneyasana. Frontal hip points lifting. Hands can be lifted or on hips, belly to spine. Without leaning really far forward, can you lift the back knee? It is a challenge. Inhaling here, exhaling here, breathing smoothly in and out. Feeling the strength of the body. Feeling the commitment of the breath. Hands to the small of the back. Interlace fingers. Notice which thumb is on top. Draw the knuckles towards the earth. Lift the heart. Really strong back leg as you lie out halfway. Really strong core here. How is the breath? How is the mind? What happens here? It builds, it gets hard. What else happens? What's the internal world? Begin to upright. Release the arms, sweep them up. Inhale. Exhale, float them to the earth. Step back to dog. Skip this vinyasa. Left leg lifts. Step it through to the hands. Back knee comes down, toes stay tucked. You have a hips distance between both feet. Press into the front heel. Upright, Anjaneyasana. Arms lifted and active or hands on hips. Front body to back body. Press into that front heel. Keep hugging the hips. Woo, can you lift that back knee? It might be a little wobbly. Walk the left foot more to the left. And you're breathing. You feel the activity in the hips, in the front body. Nice. Release the arms behind the back. Interlace, opposite thumb on top. Knuckles draw to the earth, heart lifts. Keep the lift of the frontal hip points as you lean forward. Really strong back leg, quad, active, active, active. We know we're here. So why not really be here in the discomfort of the strength of this pose? What else? We're teaching ourselves our capacity to stay with ourselves through discomfort. How beautiful is that? How translatable off the mat. Begin to lift. That part's over. Float the arms. Everything passes. Hands to the earth. Choose a vinyasa or straight to dog. From down dog, we're breathing for 5 rounds of breath. Maybe you take child's pose. That sounds pretty nice to me right now. Stay in your body. Feel the breath come in and out. Slowly, if you're ready, come back to dog if you've been in child's pose. If you'd like to stay there, you're of course welcome to. Any guess where we're going? Say it to yourself. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, looking forward. Step or hop feet forward. Heart lifts, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Sink the hips, Utkatasana, chair pose. Press into the feet, come up to standing, hands to heart center. Sink the hips, Utkatasana. Release the hands behind the back, interlace fingers. Notice the thumb, lift the heart. Keep pulling frontal hip points. Float the left knee towards the chest. Begin to cantilever forward. Reach the left leg back. Warrior 3. Holy moly, we did it. Strong back leg. Strong right hip hugging in. Soft little bend to the right knee. Maybe you even dip, ooh, if you have the balance, yikes. Maybe you dip a little further forward, moving towards a standing splits. Hands can come to the earth for this. Eventually we'll all meet with our hands on the earth. Fold in, let the head hang. Left leg is internally rotated, so the inner thigh rolls towards the sky instead of opening the hip. And then for a moment, open the hip, see how that feels. Toes can point to the left. And then close the hip once more and lower the foot to the earth. Whew, heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, heart lifts. Hands to hips, exhale. Press into the feet, inhale, come up to stand. Whew, hands to heart, pause, close the eyes. Whew, sink the hips to the earth, come into a little squat. Toes out, heels in. Elbows in between the knees. If the heels are way up off the earth, you might like slipping something underneath them like a block or a bolster. Let's just open the hips for a moment. Heart lifting. And then hands back to the earth, lift the hips. Point the toes forward, feet hips distance. Sink the hips, Utkatasana. We know where we're going. Hands to the small of the back, interlace, opposite thumb on top. Heart lifting, frontal hip points lifting, front body hugging back body. Begin to shift the weight to the left foot. Bring the right knee to the chest. Then begin to fold forward, extending the right leg back. Strong outer left hip, hug it in. Reach through the knuckles towards that back leg. Maybe you begin to dip in. Woohoo! Hands to the earth if it's too wobbly. Half splits, standing splits. We all arrive. Head hangs, you can shake it yes and no. Look up and under to the right toes, they're pointing towards the earth. And then open them out to the right, lift the leg a little bit higher, and then re-square the hips. Lower the foot to the earth. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold in, plant the hands, step back, plank vinyasa or dog pose. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Step the foot through, exhale. Swivel the back heel down. Let's set up warrior two. Let's let our hips get open. We're gonna be here, we're gonna breathe here. We find the pose, starting with the foundation. Front heel roots down and tries to pull back. Back leg, the inner arch is lifting. The outer left hip is rolling forward as the outer right hip rolls back gently. Chest is square to the left side of the mat. Belly pulling up and in. The breath is smooth. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. Straighten into the front leg for reverse triangle. And then cartwheel the hands to the earth. Step back, dog pose. Left leg lifts. Step the foot between the hands. Swivel the back heel down, slight angle. Press into the front heel, zip the core. Warrior two. So check in with your foundation. Front heel is rooting. Belly is engaged all the way from the pelvic floor. Back leg, press it firmly into the earth. It's like a strong column you could lean against. While the right hip rolls gently forward and the left hip pulls back, the chest squares to the right side of the mat. And then you breathe. Feel the fingers reach far away from one another. We've done so much with our shoulders. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. Press into the front leg, reverse triangle. And cartwheel the hands to the earth. Step forward to the top of the mat. And come down onto your tush. So we have options here. If the hips are feeling very tight today, we didn't do a ton with the hips. Simply sit in Sukhasana, and you can sit up on a bolster or a block. If you are feeling like you want to really stretch into the hips, we're gonna cross the left underneath the right, let the knees stack. So the feet, my right foot's over here, my left foot's over here. Flex the feet. Shift a little bit so you can get your sit bones on the earth. And then flip the left arm up. This might be backwards for you. This is my left arm. Right knee's on top, left arm is extended. Pat yourself on the back with that left hand. That might be plenty. You can take the right hand onto the left elbow and lift it up and give it a little bit of a stretch there. That might be plenty. You might have a strap holding in the left hand. The right hand, reach it out to the side, have the palm face behind you. And then bend the elbow, bring it up the back. You can hold onto maybe your t-shirt in between the two hands, or perhaps you can catch fingers. Try not to let the chin drop to the chest. We're still staying broad through the chest. Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Breathe into the shoulders. And if you feel inspired, you might tip forward any amount, leading with the heart. It certainly turns on the shoulder stretch a bit more. And we don't move towards injury. We notice our edges and we honor them. That is all part of staying with your body, being at home in your body, safe, trusting yourself. If you folded forward, come back up. Release the arms. Reach them out to the sides, little rotation. Lovely. Let's switch the crossing. Left over right. Left knee's on top this time. Feet are flexed, they're out to the side. Shift a little bit, side to side, get onto those sit bones. Reach the right arm up. Flip the palm behind you. Bend the elbow and let the palm hit the base of the neck. You might have the left hand on the right elbow. That might be plenty for your shoulders. Maybe you reach the left arm out to the side, palm face the wall behind you. And then bend the elbow. The back of the hand walks up the back of the body. Maybe the fingers clasp. And you might notice a great big difference from side to side. It may feel like an entirely different body. That's fine. And then you're lifting the heart. You might lean the head into the right arm. And if it feels open, available, and meaningful for your body, you might begin to tilt forward. Stay with the body. Notice the hips. Notice the shoulders. Notice where in the body is drawing the most attention. How is the breath? Is the mind drawing the most attention? Come back up if you folded forward. Release the arms, reach them out. Let's get some rotation into the shoulders. And then release the legs in front of you. Dandasana staff pose. Move the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. Flex the feet. Bend the right knee in towards the chest. Sole of the foot on the earth, at least a fist distance between it and the inner left thigh. Reach the left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, twist towards the right. You can catch hold of the right knee with the left arm. Keep the left leg flexed, all 5 toes pointing towards the sky. And you might begin to look over the right shoulder. Keep rooting down into both sit bones. You might play a bit with letting the right ear fall towards the right shoulder, getting a stretch in the neck. Keep the twist coming from the mid-body. Inhale, upright the head. Exhale, look forward, unwind. Extend the right leg, bend the left knee. Get up on your sit bones. Lift the heart, float the right arm. Exhale, twist. Use the ribs to twist the body. Left hand behind like a kickstand. Keep rolling that left hip forward. It has a tendency to roll back. Keep the right leg engaged. It has a tendency to go slack. And then maybe you look over the left shoulder, or you play with letting the left ear fall to the shoulder and stretch the right side of the neck. How is it in your body right here? Come back up through center with the head, look forward, unwind, both feet forward. Flesh moves from underneath the sit bones. Float the arms, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Knees can be gently bent. You might have a strap around the feet. You can hold ankles, shins, or hands land on the thighs. However far you fold, it does not matter. Let the head hang. As we teach ourselves this practice of staying in our bodies, healing ourselves from this practice, understanding that our bodies are not a dangerous place to be. Emotions are not the, red alert that we have to run away from. Can we give ourselves the great gift of staying with whatever is, when it is? Because everything passes. And the more we honor our own experience, the more fully we get to live our lives. Roll up. And then roll onto your back. Feet hips distance, parallel. Heels root to the earth. Press into the heels to lift the hips. You can walk the shoulders under the body and interlace the hands. We've done so much shoulder opening here. This is only our first back bend. So start with bridge. Keep breathing. Frontal hip points lift towards the front ribs. That means the belly is engaged. Means the transverse abdominis, the corset muscles around your ribs are engaged. And then lower down, release the hands, pause. Now you are welcome to take bridge again, or perhaps moving on to a deeper back bend since our shoulders have gotten so much love already today. I'll walk you through Urdhva Dhanurasana. Press into the heels, engage the low belly. Hands come beside the ears, fingertips pointing towards the shoulders. Press into the hands, press into the heels. Begin to lift the torso, top of the head to the earth, so that you're looking towards the back of your mat. Elbows hug in. Keep rooting into the heels. Keep the belly engaged, front ribs hugging in as you press into the hands. And lift up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Keep pressing the heart back as you root into the heels, the inner thighs roll to the earth, core is engaged. And then when you're ready, you will come down, back of the head to the earth as you tuck your chin to the chest. Lower the hips down. Walk the feet wide, take hands on the body. Rock the knees from side to side, windshield wipe. Opening up that low back a bit more. And then pause through center. Hug the knees in. Give a squeeze. And come into happy baby. You can hold on to the outer edges of the feet, maybe the shins or behind the hamstrings. Try and keep the tailbone on the earth. A gentle rock side to side. Maybe you extend one leg as you bend the other knee, switching sides. And then pause in happy baby. Bring the legs together, extend the legs up towards the sky, flexing the toes back towards the torso. Feel the hips heavy on the earth. Point the toes, flex the feet a couple of times here. Press up through the heels, hug the knees in. Curl into a tight little ball, forehead towards the knees. Squeeze, 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 and then flop open. Legs out, arms out. Legs roll open, palms face up. Deep breath in. Heavy sigh out. Releasing towards the earth, surrendering all of the muscles in the body, surrendering the breath. Allowing yourself to land in your Shavasana. Feel the muscles behind the eyes softly melt towards the earth. The muscles all through the face, the cheeks, the jaw, the throat. It all melts gently towards the earth. You feel the back body open to the earth. You feel the front body open, soften towards the sky. You feel yourself at home in your body. You feel the breath come in and go out. And you just gently observe this experience. Take one hand onto the heart and one hand onto the belly. Feeling yourself here inside this body through all your life. Breathing into the hand. And stretch the arms up and overhead. Get long through the body. And on the exhale, hug the knees towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Thank your body. Gently make your way into a comfortable seat. As you find yourself in your seat, connecting to the physical body, noticing the mind, inviting awareness to land on your spirit, whatever that means to you. That part of you that makes you so very special, unique. Bring the hands together at the heart. Lift the heart, bow the head. Thank you for practicing today. Shanti, peace.